If I just collapse on the ground, that's actually
Okay, so today I wanted to review the Fatal Frame movie, and just to preface, I'm not making this review to encourage anyone to watch it, even though I personally like it. I don't think most people would find it worth the watch, and so because of that, I'm just going to casually spoil a few things throughout. So this is an interesting movie. It was released a day before the 5th game released in Japan, and I suppose I should explain that this is technically based off of a video game series. In these video games, you explore a haunted area and take pictures of ghosts, seeking to undo a curse and that kind of thing. Many fans feel it misses all of these elements. For example, instead of taking place in an abandoned village, a hospital, mountain, etc., it takes place in an all-girls Catholic school. It's kind of haunted, just by one ghost though, and it's mostly a normal place. Ghost aside, which I suppose does shake things up a bit. One thing that it shares with the games is that there's a ghost look-alike. One of the main characters is suspected of actually being a ghost because they look identical to the ghost that's been haunting everyone. And so that is a fun way to kind of play with your expectations, like, oh, am I looking at the ghost right now, or am I looking at the person who looks like the ghost? It's kind of interesting, and I think that they really capitalize that on this film, I'd say in better ways than the video games do in some ways. As far as the plot device, that is classic to the video games, the camera obscura, which allows you to take pictures of ghosts and temporarily exorcise them. It is not very present in this film. It's used by this one kid, and he takes pictures of ghosts. They just kind of show up in the pictures that he takes, and they use that for clues. It's it's not a big deal. It's just kind of there. Now, there is a curse, but it's a lot more arbitrary and less ritualistic than the video games have. The whole structure of the film has a lot of similar beats to the original games. However, being in a mostly modern setting and having the differences that I've already described, I can see why a lot of fans feel that it misses the point. But to me, I think it maintains the emotional core of the series well, emphasizing character dynamics between the living and the deceased and kind of exploring that, and I think that it was still a pretty good movie. Okay, but I'm not even going to attempt to expand the plot. I describe it as a roller coaster of logic and enjoyment, I suppose. There were a lot of moments where I was like, I don't like this movie, and okay, they pulled that off pretty well, and actually that was kind of neat, and wait, what the heck are they doing? And bruh, what? And then at the end, excusable plot development. It checks out well enough, I suppose. However, here are some quick keywords that describe the plot. So the main reason that I like this movie is just for the way that it looks and sounds. It's got a very clean look, which is very interesting for a horror film. Most of the time, you've got that grimy look, but this is more similar to Sadako 2019 with a lot of natural light, just kind of looking pretty as opposed to dark and grotesque. It's almost more like the movie Love Letter from 1995 and how that's a very bright looking film. I think the clean look of the movie is a good contrast to the subject matter, like people dying and that kind of thing. It's just interesting juxtaposition. I'll also say that the soundtrack was really nice. There were some organs and bells and piano in there. The whole thing did a good job of balancing how much noise there should be. I don't feel like it was ever too loud. It always was subtle and dramatic. There were a lot of very quiet parts.
Said to the prince. He kissed the happy prince and fell down dead at his feet. Early next morning, the mayor was walking below. He looked up at the statue. How shabby the happy prince looks.
And so to me, it was almost like a cozy horror film, plot aside. It's one of the movies of all time, and I think it doesn't deserve as much hate as it gets, but I also don't necessarily think that there should be a lot of people who watch it just because of how weird it is. Overall, I don't recommend it. I mostly wanted to make this video to kind of showcase the looks of the movie. It's kind of something I'm good at. Maybe it's a curse of mine to enjoy bad movies and see the good in them. But yeah, that wraps up my thoughts on this movie. Enjoy your day.